Hello everyone, today I'm back at Bishopwearmouth Cemetery. I've just come to do a little walk up one relatively small stretch of the cemetery, and that's just this little bit right in the centre of the cemetery, just up here. It's probably 70 metres up to the centre a little bit. I just wanted to show you some of the more interesting headstones that are around here, and just some of the history that you can find in places like this. Still in good nick. That's Robert Hutchinson, who died the 26th day of July 1880, aged 67 years old. That's in memory of Thomas Harrison, late of Scarborough. I like it when they tell you where somebody was originally from. We've also got another maritime connection. That's Catherine Scott, the beloved wife of William Gordy, Harbour Master Sunderland, who died 24th of May 1864, aged 39 years and 6 months. Also of Sarah James, his second wife, who died 4th of December 1888, aged 64 years. They were but words a wanting to say what a wife should be. They were that. And also the above William, beloved husband of Margaret Gordy, who died, that's 1905, age 82. So he must have had a third wife, which was Margaret. I have heard that name before. Popped up in some more newspaper articles. Is it Gowdy or Gordy? Sounds like a good Scottish name. I bet if you Google him, there'll be quite a bit about him. And there's another, just a maritime connection, William Swinhoe, ship owner. So that one from Scarborough possibly was a master mariner. Then we've got this one for the Wilson family. Sadly, their beloved son Frederick, who was drowned at sea April the 23rd, 1876. He was just 20 years old. This would have been a fine obelisk. Sadly, it started to fall down. Well, it has fallen down. And look at this. Erected to the memory of Robert Harrison by the teachers and scholars of the Erskine Mission Sabbath School, Sunday School, as a token of the esteem which he was held by them, having been their superintendent since the opening of the mission in 1870, and also having laboured for the benefit of the young in Erskine for nearly 30 years with much success. He died on the 22nd of March 1879, aged 56 years. Just to give you some idea of roughly what was happening in the world at that time. If you've ever seen the film Zulu, that was at the end of January that year, so this is just like 2 months after that event. There's a good old epitaph. Blessed are the dead which die in the Lord, from henceforth ye saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labours and their works do follow them. Sunday school was a big part of people's lives back then. Even in the 70s, early 80s, I had to go to Sunday school. But back then it was a big part of the community. Ayres Quays, that area down near the King's Arms, past B&Q down there. And this is one of my favourite headstones in the whole of the cemetery. A lot of it's worn away, but in remembrance of Cumberland, the beloved husband of Anne Adamson. Now Cumberland, he wasn't called Cumberland because he was born in Cumberland. His grandfather was born in St Andrews in 1746, not long after the Battle of Culloden, when the Duke of Cumberland, also known as Butcher Cumberland, who defeated the Jacobite army. So obviously his family, you can see which side they were on at that era. But there was only ever 5 people in the history of the world called Cumberland Adamson. There was this Cumberland. He had a son called Cumberland, and the Cumberland who came to Sunderland, who was born in 1746, he had a sad end. He died at the workhouse. And there's also a sad story about the last final ever Cumberland Adamson. But that's for another day. If you go on Facebook and type in Cumberland Adamson, you'll find the full story of the whole history of them from 1746 through to about 1930. And then I've got somebody else, formerly of North Shields. And then another mariner, Thomas Anne, beloved wife of Thomas, little master mariner. So just in this small area, all the shipping, river connections. And then again, we've got here, look, George William Carr, son of the above, who was lost at sea, October 1881, aged 28 years. That's so common. But look how clear that is. That is just absolutely stunning. For the Carr family, do a close-up. Look how well engraved and how that has lasted. The first person buried there was 1879. Doesn't mean the headstone went up at 1879. Sometimes you might have waited. Now, I've seen that surname before, Oxnard. Layla Louise Oxnard Smith. I think somebody posted something on one of the history groups and something about an Oxnard, it popped up on my feed. But there, the poor family, Layla Louise Oxnard Smith, who died June the 20th, 1867, aged 16 months. Also of Helena Bertha Smith, who died March 26th, 1879, aged 9 years and 6 months. Lost 2 children, sadly. Apologies if there's any crackling on the video. I haven't got me mufflers for the camera, but I'm actually walking quite slow, so it might not be as pronounced if any does come. There is a little breeze. As you can see there, they've started planting some trees. There's always some fall down in all the storms we have. There's members of the Graham family. Oh, this one, Richard Avery, the beloved son of Thomas and Elizabeth Stoddard, who was killed by a fall of the gable end of a house on Noble's Bank, Hendon, March the 6th, 1878, just 7 years and 9 months. Sad story. And here we've got John Wallace, who departed this life June the 26th. It's 1878 or 79, 62 years. I should know, because I've written a story about him. He was sadly murdered out in the roads just outside Sunderland Harbour by Robert Vest, who within about 2 months of murdering him, he was executed at Durham. I have done a video purely about this particular headstone. I think it's called the Visit, I think, on my YouTube videos. And then we've got a mention of a daughter, Helen Brands, who departed this life 1844, aged 3 years, and was interred in the Gill Cemetery. There's a few videos about the Gill Cemetery on the channel. There was actually a headstone for her at the Gill when it was recorded. That's Beatrix Oyston of Monkwearmouth. Also Margaret Jane Emerson, granddaughter of the above, who died at Christchurch, New Zealand, 1884. Obviously, like everywhere, a lot of people emigrated from here. There's lots. I know my surname's Emerson, but that's 2 M's. It's a lot more commoner. Just joking. I've got members of the Younger family. Thomas Younger, late Borough Surveyor of Sunderland. That was an important job. Sorting out transport, sewerage, roads. It's members of the Ray family who died at, I think that's Chatham. I do know a few Sunderland men did end up going down to Chatham because there was the naval dockyards down there. Rope makers. Now, one of the big things in Sunderland history in the 1800s was the amount of Prussians and Germans who came to the town and Bishopwearmouth there. There's a Kaufman, a Steinbrenner and a Mary Keener. If I remember correctly, they were all in the pork butchering trade, or the families where there is a story in the Sunderland history I've done about those. Members. There's absolutely loads of David Duncans around here. I believe there was a religious minister called David Duncan. There's a David Duncan here, and I've just seen a David Duncan when I walked down here to start the video. This is one of the older sections of the cemetery. Obviously these spots here would have been highly regarded. You're close to the road, people can read them as they pass. So it's 1861. The cemetery opened on May the 2nd, 1856. That was when the first burial took place. In affectionate remembrance of Robert Allinson Jr. You can see, look, got the R on the end of the June, who departed this life November the 20th, 1861, aged 27 years. I showed you how well that other headstone was. That one is not so good. It's all gone. Well, the inscription. This is from fine ones from members of the Lindsay family. That James Lindsay, Christiana, John Lindsay, JP. In the 80th year, he says, "Mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace." Psalm 37 and 37 verse. Now this particular gentleman mentioned here, Clarence Stewart Lindsay, M-I-M-E, I think it's Mining Institute, Mining Engineers or something along those lines, of Usworth Colrison, who was killed in the De Beers diamond mine, Kimberley, South Africa, on the 10th of July 1888, aged 28 years. He is one of the bravest men you'll ever meet. Well, you won't meet, but read about. He showed bravery at a number of the mining disasters. I know definitely at Washington, I've written about him. But because he was so respected, he got the job as the mining manager for De Beers diamond mine at Kimberley, which was the biggest diamond mine in the world. Sadly, on the first week that he was there was a disaster which turned out at the time was the biggest diamond mine disaster in history, and he lost his life sadly going back down in the pit, which is something that you generally were expected to do if you're the manager. You ought to be at the front. Look, Thomas Hutton, Master Mariner. Just feel spitting on the rain a little bit. That's huge, that one. That's William Moore family. Absolutely huge. And here's some of the memory of Kezia, wife of Richard S. Branford, who died in 1861. I believe if I remember, Richard S. Branford, he was the son of one of the two Wesleyan Methodist ministers who lost their life on the Warden Law wagonway, sadly, one Saturday afternoon. And then, look at these. We've got some lovely slate graves, which obviously just memory of Isabella, wife of Michael Scott of Bishopwearmouth. Also James and Jane, their children, who died in infancy. The above are buried in Bishopwearmouth churchyard. And at the very end, Michael Scott, their end was peace. Thank you very much. I'm just going to bring that video to a close because I'm starting to spit on a little bit and hands are freezing. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy that, please give it a like and subscribe if you wish to follow the channel. Lots of the people I've visited today which have mentioned the stories, you can find the stories on Sunderland History or Friends of Sunderland Cemeteries. They're all on there, different versions of them over the last few years. So thank you very much. I will see you